Once routes are created, users need a clear way to navigate between those pages. React Router gives us two ways, a declarative way using the link and navlink components, and a programmatic way using the useNavigate hook. In this video, we'll look into both of those ways and we'll look into how we can style our links so that they are responsive to the active state of those links. So when you're on a certain page, you'll see that the link is being updated to reflect that. Now let's start with the declarative way of creating our routes. We kind of showed that in the previous video when we used the navlink component over here. Now, similar to that, we can actually use the link component. They both do almost exactly the same thing. Let me save my page here real quick and let's see how it works. You see, I'm still able to navigate between all the different pages here and everything's still working as I would expect it to. Now, the difference really between link and navlink, let me switch this back, is by default when you're on any of those pages here, you notice how in the elements viewer here, you can actually see that there is a class that has been added to that element. So if I am on the home page, you notice that the home link here has a active class added to it, which means I can go into my app layout.css file that I'm importing in my component, and I can define what I want this class to look like. So let's do, for the active class, we want to change the font weight to around 800, which is bold. And we're gonna change the text decoration to underline. And if I save that and maybe refresh my view, you see that the home link now has these styles applied when I'm on that page. If I go to the about page, you notice how the links are updating their styles as I go around. Now, sometimes you also want to be able to navigate between pages in a programmatic way. You want the users to take some action, and behind the scene, you want to also perform some actions or call out some functions. And at the end of the execution of those functions, you want to navigate the user back to another page. So over here on the settings page, right now, if I change between the light and dark mode and I save, we have certain code that is being applied right now that basically stores this theme property into our local storage. Now, we also want to change this behavior a little bit so that when we hit the save, not only do we store this information into the local storage, but we want to navigate the user back to the home page. So for that, I'm going to switch over to the settings component, and I'm going to go ahead and import my useNavigate hook. So actually, let's review what this component looks like. So over here, I have a normal page and I have a button that when clicked, we call the handle save button. This function is what's responsible for saving that property to the local storage, and that it also calls this apply saved theme function, which basically looks at the currently saved value of this property here. And based on that, it updates the theme or the data theme attribute for our application here. So if I go back to the settings page, we also want to add a navigation here. So at the end of the save function, we want to take the user back to the home page. So over here, I'm going to go and create a navigate component or a navigate constant that will equal to use navigate hook, which is automatically being imported from the React Router DOM library here. And if I save this, I'll go under handle save and we'll call this function by providing the path that I want to navigate the user back to. So now if I save this, if I change this theme from dark to light and save, not only would it save and update the local storage, but it will also take the user back to the home page. And that's kind of a programmatic way that you're able to navigate the users between your pages. So now we have a polished navigation and a clean programmatic redirect. Next, we'll allow the URL to carry some information using the URL params or the search params and the route params so that the views are shareable and restorable.